Hoyoverse finally released all of the info about Imbibitor Lunae's kit, so today we're going to be going over his kit as well as his banner to see whether or not players should pull for him. So I'm going to go a little bit out of order from this HoYoLab post where they have all the info, just because I have it in, at least in my opinion, a little bit of a weird order. So I'm going to start at his basic attack and talent, and then work my way all the way down, and then go back up towards the end to talk about his technique, his traces, and then go into his banner at the end of the video. So, starting with his basic attack. His basic attack just has 2 hits to the enemy, and deals imaginary damage to that single enemy. And it's very important to note how many hits each of Imbibitor Lunae's attacks will take, because certain ones of his attacks will do more hits, and he does get a benefit from doing multiple hits, which we'll get into now with his talent, Righteous Heart. So after every hit dealt during an attack, Imbibitor Lunae gains Righteous Heart, which increases his damage, and it's a stackable buff as well, and lasts until the end of his turn. So the more hits you're doing with him, the more extra damage you're going to get, which is why some of his other, enhanced basic attacks, which we're going to get to, are going to be very powerful for him to, be a good DPS option. So going into his first enhanced basic attack, Transcendence, he consumes a skill point to deliver a 3-hit combo that deals imaginary damage to a single enemy. So, yeah, just a slight improvement from the basic attack there, getting an extra hit in, which means he gets an extra stack of his talent. Then, for his second enhanced basic attack, Divine Spear, he will consume 2 skill points to deliver a 5-hit combo on a single target, and then starting from the 4th hit, he will also deal damage to the adjacent targets as well, which is really nice. Having some AOE, not fully AOE, but having some extra damage to adjacent targets is definitely going to be really good. And just more hits on this just means more stacks of his talent, which is also going to be very good for him. Then his enhanced basic attack 3, Fulgurant Leap, will consume 3 skill points to do a 7-hit combo on a single target, and then similarly to the second enhanced basic attack, starting from the 4th hit, it will damage adjacent targets as well. So the adjacent targets will also take 4 hits on Fulgurant Leap, which is really good. This is his strongest basic attack. He'll have 7 stacks of the talent, which is going to be really strong, as well as part of his skill here, which the skill not only does it enhance his basic attack depending on the amount of times you click it, but when he uses Divine Spear or Fulgurant Leap, starting from that 4th hit, he'll gain stacks of Outroar, and each stack of Outroar will increase his crit damage. So, if you get a good amount of crit rate on him, being able to increase your crit damage through your kit is definitely going to be very good. The stacks for that last to the end of the turn. And then, as a quality of life thing, because, players might accidentally cycle all the way to Fulgurant Leap when they only want to use Divine Spear, for example. So they added a cancel button when you are cycling through Imbibitor Lunae's skill to get all his enhanced basic attacks. So that's also really good for him. So yeah, him having the Outroar stacks as well as the Righteous Heart stacks is going to be really good for damage. I definitely do see... I can definitely see people building crit rate body relics for Imbibitor Lunae, just trying to max out his crit rate and then give him a decent amount of crit damage, because he will be able to give himself some as well with Fulgurant Leap and Divine Spear. Now we get on to his ultimate. So his ultimate does a 3-hit combo to a single target, as well as a set amount of imaginary damage to adjacent enemies. And through his ultimate, he also gains Squama Sacrosancta. I've been struggling to pronounce that, I don't know why, but he has a certain limit on those stacks. They haven't told us that yet, but the Squama Sacrosancta basically act as a substitute to skill points. So whenever he has those stacks and he's using his enhanced basic attack, he will consume the stacks of Squama Sacrosancta instead of using skill points until he has no more stacks of it, which is definitely going to be really nice to keep his skill points in check, just because if you want to use him at his strongest, he's going to be using a lot of skill points. So I do like that they have a bit of a way to offset those for him, and I think it's definitely going to be really helpful. Then, scrolling back up here, we're going to go over his technique. So his technique makes him enter the Leaping Dragon state for a set amount of time, and this just allows his attack to basically shoot him forward a little bit. It's kind of like a dash. Basically, think of, if you play Genshin Impact, think of Xiao's, think of his skill. It's like the dash forward, kind of similar to that. And after entering combat in the Leaping Dragon state, he deals imaginary damage to all enemies and is able to gain Squama Sacrosancta. So yeah, having some of that skill point offset at the start of battle will also be really nice for him as well. Then, we are moving on to his traces. They also do say he is a DPS character as well. Definitely cool of them to, say that outright. But yeah, for his major traces, the first one, Star Rail. At the start of battle, he'll immediately regenerate a set amount of energy. That's going to be really good, especially as an early trace as well, just so you can get your ultimate more consistently, because you are regenerating a set amount of energy every time. So yeah, faster ult is always going to be good. Then his second major trace, Aqua Rain, is going to increase the chance to resist crowd control debuffs, which is pretty good for a DPS, because crowd control debuffs are going to make you, not able to move, not able to use your ultimate, all that stuff. So being able to resist those just means you're not going to be losing out on any damage because of the debuffs. And then, his final major trace, Jolt Anew. This character's crit damage increases when dealing damage to enemies with imaginary weakness. So if you're using him in fights with imaginary weaknesses, and I could definitely see them, when they do the new enemies for Memory of Chaos 1.3, I could definitely see an increase in imaginary enemies, or imaginary weak enemies. So that's going to be really good for when you're using him against imaginary characters, for sure. And then last but not least, to talk about his banner, I do think he has a very interesting banner. His banner consists of Yukong, Asta, and March 7th. And I do think they can all work very well with him. Yukong, while she might be a bit clunky and, just a bit harder to use compared to other Harmony characters, she is going to have some good synergy with him because she does have some boosts that are inherently just for imaginary characters, which is super nice. Then for Asta, she's able to increase your team's speed, give some attack boosts as well. And she'll just be good to just get more attacks in and get more damage in, which is really good. And then March 7th, acting as your defensive support, if you don't have Japard, if you're not using Fire Trailblazer. I do think March 7th is still very good, and you'll be able to get a shield up on your Imbibitor Lunae, and keep him healthy so he can keep doing damage. So yeah, in the end, I do think if you're looking for a DPS, and if you're also looking to just have imaginary coverage on your account, I think Imbibitor Lunae is going to be a very good pick. And his banner is also pretty good as well, so definitely nothing really too bad there. The main thing is just focusing on making sure you can deal with that skill point consumption. The Squama Sacrosancta is definitely going to help, but if you also have a bunch of other team members that are using skill points, it might end up being a bit challenging. But yeah, let me know what you all think about Imbibitor Lunae in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed and haven't already, definitely be sure to hit the like button, comment, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. But with that, I will see you all next time.